Okay, this is a topic that I believe has been discussed by like paranormal researchers and stuff, but I've never watched any of their videos, to be honest with you. This is just something I came up with based on my own research. And that's what I discussed the other night. I said I'd make a video about the dimensional bleeding. What I think, and it's something that from what I've talked to from the people I've talked to, is something a lot of them agree upon. This is not my original idea, as I know a lot of people have come up with this in the past, but I did not know that until I had come up with it. Like, just from my observation, I came up with it, and then when I started looking for other people on the internet that maybe thought the same thing, I found that, some of these first theories started coming out and like way back when. I was like, oh, okay. Alright then. I'm like 400 years late to this party, okay. But no. It's pretty much the idea that, somewhere along the line, dimensions, like you have multiple dimensions, right? A dimension overlaps with another one, and maybe stuff from that other dimension bleeds out into the other one. Like you have the Berenstein Bears thing. People call that the Mandela effect. Well, what if that's some of that bleeding going on there? Oh, maybe what if it was the Berenstein Bears? But what if, back in the day, what if it was that? Hey, what if it's still that somewhere else? But it was only changed here because maybe we overlapped with another dimension somehow, and that information got swapped. That's the whole idea behind the dimensional bleeding effect. Like, say in Africa, there's this tribe of these weird, not necessarily dark colored people, but like really, really tan, like a tan white person would be. They're not black people, but they're like really tan white people, and they're down here in this particular jungle. This isn't real. I'm just saying, for instance. And then one day you wake up and you find out that that tribe of people that you were interested in researching turns out to be a bunch of black people. They were never even close to being tan or white or anything. It's like, what the fuck happened? I remember them being black, and it's like, nope, they were white the whole time, or whitish. And it's like, what the shit? That's how you remember. Like, you remember them, I said that wrong. You remember them being white-ish, but it turns out people are saying, no, you're wrong, because everybody else, for some reason, a lot of people don't, they'll say you're wrong in something like that. Like the Berenstein Bears thing, a lot of people go, oh, it was always the Bernstein Bears. When really, there's actually pictures, and this is strange to me too. How is it now the Bernstein Bears, not the Berenstein Bears? It's the Bernstein Bears now. Well, how the hell, Berenstain or whatever, how is that the case when you still have pictures from like 2002 or the early 90s? You have all these pictures of the books, like some family photo or something, and if the kid's sitting there reading Berenstein Bears, it's even spelled the same, but it's only now changed to Berenstain. It's this weird thing where some things are just some information swapped out for other information. Like, there's some famous guy's name, and I can't remember him off the top of my head, but his name's spelled differently than it was like 40 years ago. And there's movies where certain scenes of the movie has changed throughout time. Like, damn, what was the movie? See, I can't remember shit this late at night. It's 2 a.m., by the way, if you didn't know. But yeah, you have all this weird stuff. Like, and I have literally seen, with my own life, I have seen strange stuff. Like, I had this plug in the wall when I was like 13 years old. I had this little plug-in power supply thing, this little power adapter from my PSP. And I wanted to charge my PSP, so I plugged this thing into the wall, and it fell out of the socket. The socket was always loose. I had no furniture hardly in my room at this time. Is that a damn cockroach on my table? There's a cockroach on my table. Yep. This place is swarming with wood roaches. That's okay though, I like wood roaches. They're actually kind of funny to mess with you. Like, poke them and they go, fly away. They freak out and stuff, it's pretty funny. But, no, but, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, it's so strange. Like, movie scenes have changed. Just, oh yeah, I was telling you about the, plug in the wall. I've had very sidetracked. I get sidetracked very easily. I have ADHD. So, yeah. But, I had this plug in the wall socket, and it fell out into the floor. Now, I had barely any furniture in my room at the time, and there was nothing around that plug. So it couldn't have fallen out and maybe rolled up underneath something. The thing was a square shape, like a perfect cube-looking shape. And it falls out of the wall, and you'd expect to just see it on the floor. Well, I looked everywhere in the house for that thing. It vanished. The cord and everything. I've had literally just stuff disappear before. Like, one time I had this pair of shoes. They were like these old Velcro shoes I had when I was like 9. And nobody knew where the hell they went. I fell asleep with them next to me. Literally. I took them off. I was sleeping on the couch in the living room that night, right? I take the shoes off. I sat them next to the couch. We didn't have a dog or cat or anything. Could have taken them off. I sat it right next to the couch on the floor. I woke up the next morning. Shoes were gone. And my mom was helping me look for them, and we couldn't find them anywhere. They're just gone. Disappeared. Seemingly vanished. It's things like this that make me wonder, that started making me think about this whole dimensional bleeding thing. Well, some of this stuff I've misplaced, because, I come back and I find it later. Other stuff is just fucking gone. And hell, stuff that hadn't even happened to me, like, I've read stories of people's, like, it's so strange. Like, I've read stories before of, other people's personal belongings disappearing and stuff. Read these things on the internet. Like, some dude's guitar just fucking vanishes. Like, he has a guitar, like my acoustic sitting right here. Gets up to play it one afternoon. He never moves it. He always puts it back in the same spot. And he gets up one afternoon to play it, and it's just fucking vanished. It's not even there. It's like, what the hell? Where's my guitar? I mean, but it's just gone. Stuff just fucking vanishing. And then you have all these stories of things like Febreze. My mom always used to buy a Febreze air freshener. You know what it is now? Febreze. It's like the most stupid thing ever. It's so much harder to pronounce than Febreze. No, we're gonna call it Febreze. Why? But that's that effect happening again. That's something I genuinely believe in. We don't really have any scientific facts to back it up. Like, we don't have any evidence, to back it up. But, that's pretty much my whole idea on it. There's not really much more to talk about on that particular thing. So, yeah. That's about all there was to it with that thing. With the dimensional bleeding effect thing. My belief is, I'll just tell you one more time just so you understand where I'm coming from. I believe that in certain times of history, two dimensions, I believe everything in space moves. Like, you have the stars move, the whole solar system moves around something. I believe all of space-time is moving. Time is always moving, everything's always aging, people die, new generations are born, the planets revolve around the sun, New planets are born, old ones die. Stuff like this happens all the time. But I also believe that this ties in with the dimensions too, like the space-time plane, like the fabric of space. I believe that the fabric of space actually moves too, and there's another fabric beneath it, which would be that other dimension. See, it's my personal belief that a black hole leads to another dimension. It's like a hole in the fabric of this space that takes you down into the other fabric, which is the other dimension. Which could be it's like a parallel universe, but it may not be parallel. There may be a lot of stuff that's different. But it takes you to another universe. I don't believe in necessarily parallel universes like, well, I know the idea is they're parallel, but, I guess parallel universes, but a lot of people, when they say a parallel universe, they mean everything's pretty much the same as this, except it's a little bit different. Like, you go to the fourth dimension, and Obama's got an afro, and he's got buck teeth, and likes to smoke weed, and Bill Clinton didn't just inhale, he's actually addicted to meth, too, and he smokes weed. It's like the funniest shit ever. But that's just my idea. I believe that all of the fabric of space and time moves, and everything moves with it. And eventually, these two fabrics do like this, underneath one another, and somehow, don't ask me how because I don't know, but I just think that sometimes data between these two dimensions is exchanged with each other, and then they move off again. Like, my belief is you go in a black hole now, right? Well, if you came out, let's say you could come out on the other side without being destroyed. You come out on the other side now, you go back through, you might come out in a totally different dimension because the one you just came from might have already moved off and another one moved in, and you might come out in another one. But that's just my idea. And you know, some, like, people's personal belongings just disappearing. Well, we all know about microscopic wormholes. Well, that is a fact, but a lot of people still try to deny it. It's been proven that there's like these micro-sized wormholes that can be opened by using some technology that we don't have today. We don't have. I'm sure ETs have it. We don't, though. We need to fucking get it because that would be cool as hell. Like, hey, I gotta take a crap, but I'm busy playing this Call of Duty match right now. You could just teleport the toilet right underneath your butt. I mean, it'd be like the greatest shit ever. I want to go to the top of Mount Everest. You're there. I mean, it'd be fucking cool. And we need to get on that. Don't let NASA do it though, because they never give you a straight answer. I mean, if you let them invent something like that, you'd never hear about it. They'd probably just use it for themselves for the next 400 years, forever saying anything. So Elon Musk needs to get on top of making the toilet teleportation device. But no, in all seriousness, I believe that's all I had to say about it, really. So, yeah. I'll just film another one in a minute. So, see you dudes later.